Good morning, students of the 9th grade. Welcome to the online English class for today, Monday, the 27th of April. I hope you are okay, and let's start with the English class. For today, we have two classes. The first one is Woman of Courage, and the second is Writing a Letter of Application. Learning outcomes. The student introduces the topic and reads for geese, consolidates new vocabulary and finds synonymous words, phrases in the text, develops critical thinking, presents and analyzes a model letter, writes a letter of application. Unit 7F. Across the curriculum, Woman of Courage. Here are the translation and the meanings of the new words in Check These Words box. Now, look at the two pictures given about Helen Keller. What do you know about her? Have you heard anything about this woman? What would you like to know? Think of 3 questions. Now, let's read the text. A Woman of Courage. Helen Adams Keller was born on 27 June 1818 in Alabama, USA. Unfortunately, Helen contracted an illness when she was only 19 months old that left her deaf and blind. Her mother found it difficult to cope with Helen, so they decided to hire a teacher. On 3rd March 1887, Anne Sullivan, a former blind woman who had regained her sight, arrived at the Kellers' home. With Anne's help, Helen learned how to read and write using Braille. She went on to study, and on 28 June 1904, she became the first deaf-blind person ever to have earned a Bachelor of Arts degree. Over the following years, Helen toured the world, giving talks about her life experiences and her support of female suffrage, pacifism, and workers' rights. In 1915, she founded Helen Keller International, an organization to support research into vision and health and nutrition. And in 1920, she helped create the American Civil Liberties Union, whose aim is to defend civil liberties. In later years, Helen devoted herself to raising funds for the American Foundation for the Blind. In 1961, Helen suffered a stroke and had to withdraw from public life, but she was far from forgotten. On 14 September 1964, President Lyndon B. Johnson awarded her one of the highest civilian honors, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and in 1965 she was elected to the National Women's Hall of Fame. Helen died in her sleep from natural causes on 1 June 1968. She left her mark on society and proved that, as she once said, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Were your questions answered from the text? Now, let's go on with the reading comprehension. In exercise 2, page 90, you have to read the text again and mark the sentences true or false. Correct the false statements. For example, Helen Keller was born deaf and blind. It is false. In exercise 3, you have to find words in the text which mean, for example, caught means contracted. Then you have the things section. Why was Helen a woman of courage? Provide reasons from the text. And as a portfolio homework, you have exercise 5, page 90. Can you think of anyone else who overcome difficult challenges and did great things? Tell the class what you have found. The second class is about writing a letter to the editor. Here are the new words. Now, let's look at how to write a letter of application. When you write a letter, it is usually formal in style. They consist of a formal greeting. We start with Dear Sir or Madam when we don't know the person's name. Dear Mr. Mrs. when we know the person's name. Then, in the introduction paragraph, we write our opening remarks and the reason for writing. For example, I'm writing to apply for the position of, which was advertised in a newspaper, in a magazine, or wherever you have read it. In the main body paragraphs, there can be 2 or more paragraphs in which we write our age, present job, studies, qualification, experience, and personal qualities. In the conclusion, we write our closing remarks. For example, I would be grateful if you would consider me for the position. I am available for an interview at your convenience, etc. Then, in the formal ending, we can write yours faithfully when we don't know the person's name, or yours sincerely when we know the person's name. Now, let's read the letter of application. Dear Sir, Madam, I want to ask for the position of wildlife biologist which was advertised in the Daily Gazette on Monday, 24th November. I have a degree in zoology from the University of Glasgow, and I have recently completed a master's degree in wildlife biology and conservation. Over the past years, I have been working part-time as an assistant zookeeper at Battersea Park Children's Zoo, where I help with feeding and general care of the animals. I also work as a volunteer for the RSPCA in the South East London area, where I am in charge of rehoming stray cats and dogs. I think I am a dedicated and hard-working person, and I believe in the welfare and care of animals. I am also reliable and a good worker, both individually and as part of a team. I would like if you would consider me for the position. Here is my curriculum vitae and 2 references. I can come and see you wherever you like, and you can reach me anytime. I can't wait. Yours faithfully, Clara. Bye. Now, let's read the letter. In which paragraph does Clara state her availability for an interview? State her reason for writing, describe her experience, present her qualification, describe her personal qualities. Then, in exercise 2, you have to replace the informal phrases in the letter with equivalent formal ones. For example, I would be grateful is the correct formal phrase to replace I would like it. As a homework in exercise 3, you are going to read the advertisement and write a letter of application for the job using 120 to 150 words. Use the plan. In paragraph 1, reason for writing. In paragraph 2, present situations and qualification. In paragraph 3, work experience. In paragraph 4, personal qualities. And in paragraph 5, availability and closing remarks. That's all for today's lesson. See you next time. Goodbye.